Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai, by Shemar Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutations to all the Akimat in the four corners, teaching the truth and sincerity. All right, it's Tasha Kwamath here with the brother
Rock, Shalom.
of the GMS Dallas camp. Lord's will, we bring this lesson out skillfully. Just like the elder Arianazi did last night. Because he went into the power of
power of the Holy Spirit.
The power of the Holy Spirit, man. Mm-hmm. And that was a lesson that was duly needed. Especially in the times that were coming in. Mm-hmm. All right, holy hell is about to happen upon the face of the earth. Mm-hmm. Okay, and with that happening, with Esau showing his power, how about Shemaiah Shai is about to show his in tandem towards his men. All right, so this power is coming for us, but it's already in us. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, I got an opener if you want it. And feel free to speak on it. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2, and I'm going to read verses 4 and verses 5. And it reads, 2 Timothy 2, 4 and 5. It says, "No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier." And this is the point of verse 5 that says, "And if a man also strive for masteries, yet he is not crowned except he strive lawfully."
Yeah.
And just going into kind of what you talked about, we striving for the masteries in this thing. And like the elder said in the lesson last night, when you come into this thing, you should have a growth mentality. You want to grow. Now, growth isn't always linear. I remember Now told me that one time. Growth isn't always linear. You're going to have ups and downs, kind of like stock market or whatever.
Yeah.
But we still want to be trending upward, mm-hmm. And as the brother's going into, as we're going to touch on, you can only do that through the power of the Holy Spirit and through seeking wisdom. Mm-hmm. That's the only way you're going to trend upward,
Well, I got a precept to your precept. All right, this is Sirach chapter 19, verse 5. Mm-hmm. It says, "Whoso taketh pleasure in wickedness shall be condemned, but he that resisteth pleasures crowneth his life." All right, because like the brother was going into, like, we have to separate and detach from this modern life.
Yep.
All right. And Esau has set it up to where it's really all in one now. All right. Hell is all around us, pressing us down or oppressing us. Right. What's that? Ecclesiastes 7:7. "Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad." Mm-hmm. Why would it make a wise man mad? Because he sees the folly in it. And that's what wisdom does. Wisdom helps us see the folly in the society that we're in. Okay. And this has always happened, from kingdom to kingdom, from incarnation to incarnation. Baba Kusha, you got another one?
I actually do. This is Micah 2:10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword of destruction." And like you said, resisting pleasures is a major key to that, considering we're living in a society that's based off of pleasure, pleasing the flesh, sex. So that's one of the main battles you got to overcome in this truth is overcoming, Babylon the Great and that strategy, if you will.
But we're gonna dive into the lesson. Baba Kushai, pull that Sirach 24:8, because they touched on a beautiful point last night going into and we'll get it too. That Wisdom of Solomon 7. But I wanted to touch on it a little bit more.
Sirach 24.
Sirach 24 and 8, because wisdom was given only to the elect, but uh, it was given unto the elect of the nation of Israel.
This is Sirach chapter 24, and I'm gonna start at verse 8. It says, "So the Creator of all things gave me a commandment, and He that made me caused my tabernacle to rest, and said, Let thy dwelling be in Jacob, and thine inheritance in Israel."
So this is wisdom right here. Wisdom was made for the elect, and it's resting upon the shoulders of the nation of Israel, as it says in that Ecclesiasticus chapter 44 and 22. It's all inclusive, but I want a little bit more on that.
Yep. Sirach chapter 24 and verse 8 again. It says, "So
go to 9, Bible shot.
Sirach 24 and 9, it says, He created me from the beginning, before the world, and I shall never fail."
See, wisdom was created, specifically, for you so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans of Negroid descent. Okay, it wasn't for any other nation. It wasn't for Esau. Esau can't even ponder upon the things that wisdom has.
Yep. The scriptures say the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom.
And Esau is all about wickedness. Yep. As you can tell, look at what he's doing on the face of the earth. Yep. Look at what he has been doing for the inception of him being upon the earth.
You keep going on Sirach 24.
Bubble shot.
This is Sirach chapter 24 and verse 10. It says, "In thy holy tabernacle I served before him, and so was I established in Zion."
And see that in the holy tabernacle, whenever wisdom was brought up with Yahweh Shai, as it says in that Proverbs chapter Proverbs chapter 8, I think it's verse 29. I perceive.
Let's get you gonna get a little bit of that.
Bible shot.
This is Proverbs chapter 8 and verse. I'm gonna start at verse 23, and I'm gonna read a little bit. Proverbs 8 and 23. It says, "I was set up from everlasting, from the beginning, or ever the earth was. When there was no depths, I was brought forth. When there were no fountains abounding with water, before the mountains were settled, before the hills was I brought forth."
And this is wisdom. This is wisdom. And Yahweh Shai is laying the foundations, and wisdom was there with him. Continue.
Yep. And like you're saying, this links up with Colossians 1 too, like how the brothers linking Yahweh Shai with wisdom, because they are linked.
Yeah, they're one and the same.
They're one and the same. And that's like, I'm not trying to overtalk, but like when Solomon prayed for wisdom in First Kings, that was that union that was at the beginning, at the very, very, very beginning.
Yeah.
Even before the elect came after that, came from that union, so to speak. The Heavenly Father imparting wisdom unto Yahweh Shai, and then Yahweh Shai using that wisdom to create the heavens and the earth with the elect.
Time, Baba Kushai, could I pull Wisdom of Solomon 8, 8 and 1? Just read 8, 1, 2. If you
this is Wisdom of Solomon,
because it's going to go into your point, what you just said, how wisdom was there from the beginning, and how everything was set up.
Yep,
you got it.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 8, verse 1 and verse 2. It says, "Wisdom reacheth from one end to another mightily, and sweetly does she order all things.
And see, and sweetly does she order all things. So she knows every intricate part, you know. So because she had to create it, you know. You got it.
It says, verse 2, I loved her and sought her out from my youth. I desired to make her my spouse, and I was a lover of her beauty.
And that was the coming together with the Yahushai. You know, wisdom wanting to be with him and him wanting to be with her. It was a holy union. You know, and that's the same thing that wisdom wants with us, because wisdom was given unto us, as we're going to read, you know, here in back in Sirach, Sirach 24. You know,
is that it on Wisdom Solomon 8?
Yeah.
Okay, kind. This is back in Sirach 24. I'm gonna read verse 10 again. It says, "In thy holy tabernacle I served before him, so I was established in Zion."
Yeah.
It says, "Likewise in the beloved city he gave me rest, and in Jerusalem was my power."
See, so the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know, the wisdom, you know, that rested upon the nation. Okay, this was the nation as a whole. All right, it was above anything that you can ever imagine. Okay, we had the juice. We had the juice. We had the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you know, flowing. I mean, it still is flowing. All right, we just don't have the mind to properly discern. You know, that's why our people are bugging out right now. You know, they're wild. You know, but if you got a precept, I don't want to.
No, you good. I was just gonna mention when you read about when the Lord was dealing with Abraham, and he made the promises to Abraham. He promised that, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua promised that he would be a power, you know, under his descendants.
Yeah.
You know, that's why the word Israel, Yashua Allah, he is a prince of the power. All right. A prince is an inheritor of something. So like the brother's going into, what are we inheritors of? We're inheritors of power.
Power.
You know,
like the elder was bringing out about Superman, Kal-El.
Yeah.
You know, that he's all powerful. All right. And what the world doesn't want you to know is that he had more powers than just he can punch a mountain or he could fly. You know, he had the spirit, and the spirit was a power in itself. All right, that couldn't be fucked with.
Yeah.
And that's the power that we're going to get, that we're going to receive, you know, not in these fleshly bodies, but in our immortal bodies that Yahweh Shem Yahushai has set up. You know, everything that's being, you know, laid down right now, it's a setup what's to come.
Can I get some for you?
Baba Kashad.
This is John chapter 1 and verse 12. It says, "But as many as received him, to them he gave power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe on his name." You know, just laying back on your point. You know, like power is a multifaceted thing. Like when we read Wisdom of Solomon 7, and it lists off all those attributes, all those capabilities, applications, so to speak. All right. This what we're talking about is not a light thing. No. How do you think Edom is dominating the planet Earth the way he's dominating? He's dominating through left hand, you know, power, left hand wisdom, and
it's not enough,
right?
Because you need both, in order to, you know, exude, you know, righteous power, you know, upon this earth.
Yeah.
All right. And that's because he was only given that little glimpse. You know, he wasn't given the whole book. All right, Yahweh Shai was given the whole book. That's why Yahweh Shai is going to come back and reign, because he has everything that he needs to rule.
Yeah.
And then that power that's in him is going to be given unto the rest of the nation, or the 144,000, and the 1/3, and they're going to go out and they're going to have their own planets and they're going to rule them. So like many mansions. So everything comes together, if you can receive it, if you can understand it, everything comes together, especially for those that love Yahweh by Shem Shai. All right, everybody ain't gonna get this. It's just that's what this is talking. Everybody can't fathom what we're pondering upon right now. They can't get it. But so like,
you got something you want on deck? I got some while you
go ahead and get it, bro.
I want to touch on a couple of points that you made, because one of the points you just made was the importance of understanding both good and evil. Like, part of the reason we catching hell and we got to go through this season of the curses of hell is because Yahweh Shem Shai is making us complete beings. Okay. He's rounding us out. But just to back that up, this is Genesis 3:5. All right, and this is the serpent speaking, but really this was true what he was saying. It says, "For God doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil." All right, so the scriptures call us the sons of God, right? Princes of the power. All right, the scriptures also say ye are gods. But that process is not going to be completed until ultimately we play out we fulfill our time here in Babylon the Great, and then we're changed. We got to be changed. We got to be made immortal beings, because that's a part of the power as well. And
like that made me think of this right here, this Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12 verse 22. Because it says, "Therefore, as thou doest chasten us," because we're being chastised right now, because we went off. We chose not to follow the law, statutes, commandments of Yahweh Shem Shai. Therefore, Yahweh Shem Shai had to put belt to ass. Okay.
Yep.
It's like, we'll say it like that.
That's it.
It says, "Therefore, whereas thou doest chasten us, thou scourgest our enemies 1,000 times more." All right, to the intent that when we judge, because this is all a learning process, right? To the intent to when we judge, we ourselves. So like,
I'll read it.
Bible shot.
It says we should. Wisdom of Solomon 12:22. It says, "Therefore, whereas thou dost chasten us, thou scourgest our enemies 1,000 times more, to the intent that when we judge, we should carefully think of thy goodness, and when we ourselves are judged, we should look for mercy."
So we're looking for the mercies of Yahweh Shem Shai right now, because we are being judged on a level to gain understanding. All right, to gain the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of how not to do what Esau is doing. All right, that's why we're being judged, because we have to know this other side. Okay, but he's going to give us mercy to bring us back, to the sweet. Yeah. Right now we're in the bitter, but we're going back to the sweet after this. And how does that happen? Through wisdom. All right. One more precept of Wisdom of Solomon 10, and this just is going to go right into it. 10, chapter 15, Baba Kushai.
Verse 15.
Yeah, 15 and 16. All right, because this is how we get back to the sweet, and we can only get back to the sweet with wisdom. Okay, so I'm hoping this is all tying together, because wisdom is the reason for the season. Without wisdom, there is no reason. All right, she's the silver lining to all this. Okay,
Yep, and like the scriptures say, the root of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. Because fear of the Lord is how you get access to those things you're talking about, the mercy and the grace.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna get that if you don't fear the Lord.
That's that Hebrews chapter 11:6. You know.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 10 and 15. It says, she delivered the righteous people and blameless seed from the nation that oppressed them. She entered into the soul of the servant of the Lord and withstood dreadful kings and wonders and signs.
See, so wisdom did all this. All right. Now, whenever you read this chapter, because this is a fire chapter, all right, it talks about how wisdom protected the elect from the wickedness of his brothers, from destroying them. All right. So we have divine protection from wisdom. We have a heritage because wisdom was set up to be given to us for this same. But
so, like, can I read this verse again? This is Wisdom of Solomon 10 and 15, right? And it's important here too that they're going into the history. Like we always talk about the mystery. Yeah, you gotta go into the history to get the mystery, man. Yep. So when you're reading this Wisdom of Solomon, it's linking wisdom to actual the history of us getting delivered out of Egypt, because that whole situation started with the Passover, the Pesach, the Lord basically putting to death millions, and you know what I mean, the firstborn in the land of Egypt, which did what? Amplified fear. Yep. You know, like the brother saying, fear and wisdom are synonymous. You know, but this is 15 again. It says she delivered the righteous people and blameless seed from the nation that oppressed them, right? It says she entered into the soul of the servant of the Lord and withstood dreadful kings and wonders and signs, and rendered to the righteous a reward of their labors, guided them in a marvelous way, and was unto them for a cover by day and a light of stars in the night season.
You know, because that was in Egypt. You know, that was Moses and Joshua.
Yep, Moses,
Joshua, Aaron. Yep. You know, because we all had to go underneath that veil to get to the other side, because Yahweh Shemiah Shai has set it up, and like the brother that he's talking about was Ramses. You know, but that story is likened unto the story that we're going through right now with Esau. Right. You know, because it was a smaller story, but it was still put in a bigger light.
Yeah, it was a prelude.
Yeah, prelude
to what's gonna happen now. Like when it says in Isaiah 11, the Lord is gonna recover the second time.
Yep, the second time.
You know, and then Exodus 23, the angel. Remember the angel of the Lord that we were commanded to follow. That was Yahweh Shai. Through fear.
You know, hey, and you gotta put some respect on his name. You got to, because if you playing around with this man, Yahweh Shai gonna kill you, bro. Because he is the death angel, just like that. Okay, and hey, I ain't got nothing else to say on that. You know, I'm just hoping that you see it for what it is. That you playing with fire, but we can go back to the Sirach 24.
This is Sirach chapter 24 and verse 11. It says, likewise in the beloved city he gave me rest, there you go, and in Jerusalem was my power, and I took root in an honorable people, there you go, even the portion of the Lord's inheritance.
See, in an honorable people. So wisdom took root in the nation of Israel. And not just the nation of Israel, but the elect, you know, the 1/3 of the nation of Israel, because wisdom knew that the 1/3 and the 2/3 are going to have a split. The 2/3 are going to have to die therein, you know, and the 1/3 is going to be exalted. All right, and reign with Yahweh Shemiah Shai. So that's why whenever you read that, you know, you have to understand the separation of it. But Bob Kushai, you got it.
I got something laying back on what you said.
You got it.
This is Isaiah 65, 8 and 9. It says, thus saith the Lord, as the new wine is found in the cluster, and one saith, destroyeth it not, for a blessing is in it.
For a blessing is in it.
So will I do for my servant's sake, that I may not destroy them all. And servant's sake, that's code for the elect, as the brother saying. Verse 9, it says, and I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob, out of Judah, an inheritor of my mountains, and my elect shall inherit it.
So Yahushai, you know, and then the elect that the Alahayim that came with them. So like I'm breaking it down.
No, hey.
But you got it.
It's just a little bit more. And it says my servants shall dwell there. You know, so
you know the servants are going to reign with Yahushai, you know, upon Edom, which is the whole earth. You know, but
anything else?
Hey, we gotta go back to the Sirach. Read that last verse again.
Sirach 24:12. It says, I took root in an honorable people, even in the portion of the Lord's inheritance.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Salakia. He took root in an honorable people. That was the elect. So like my eyes went. I tried to read along with you, but we can pull that Wisdom of Solomon 7:22 now, because we've established who the power was. You know, we established the people that she was going to dwell in. All right, and we established also how Bashim Al-Shai was moving, you know, properly. You know, so now 22.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 7:22. It says, for wisdom, which is the worker of all things. So let me go back. It says, for wisdom, which is the worker of all things, taught me, for in her is an understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtle, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good, kind to man, steadfast, sure, free from care, having all power, overseeing all things, and going through all understanding, pure and most subtle spirits.
And so there's a lot of words that show that this can't be given to no one else. All right. Like you ever heard of bloodletting? People would back in the like kingdom time or ancient world, yeah, we can call it that. Yeah. But the women would do bloodletting to, you know, look more youthful. So they will cut themselves and they will bleed out. Well, the spirit can't be, you know, bled out of us. You can't take the spirit that was given unto us and transplant it into another nation. All right. All this it's all inclusive. All right. Wisdom is inclusive only with the nation of Israel, as we read in that Sirach. All right. No one else can have it. All right.
Yeah, I mean that's that Romans 9. That's Romans 9. Like when Paul goes into you know, the blessings, the covenants, all that being specifically for the nation of Israel. You know, that's also Yahushai.
It's also Yahushai.
Yahushai he's the door. He's the one that holds the keys to all this.
Yep.
And he's an Israelite. He's, you know what I mean?
Hey.
So ain't nobody else gonna get it.
I mean,
but Yahushai and then the men who he's dealing with, which is gonna be the governing body of the world to come, the elected nation of Israel. You know, as the brother said.
You know, but like
these are the solutions, like to all the problems of the world.
This is it.
It comes through this.
This is it. It comes through the scriptures. You know, a proper understanding of the scriptures. What was that? Who is that? Theodore Roosevelt that said that a proper understanding of the scriptures is better than the college degree. You know, but yet they put the scriptures on the back burner and push the bullshit that they're pushing. because they don't want you so-called Black, Latinos, and Native Americans to know who you are. Okay, but all this is for you. You know, all this toiling and hard work that brothers do, it's not for them. It is for them, but it's not just for them. It's for you, the listener, right? But hey, you can continue.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 24. It says, "For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness."
You know, so she passes and goes through everything because she's so unique. You know, she's so eloquent. You know, wisdom, like we said, was brought up with Yahweh Shai, so they're hand in hand. You know, in tandem. But you got it.
Verse 24, it says, "For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her."
So Esau can't go into it. Elam can't go into it, especially Elam.
Yeah.
You know, these other nations, no one can acquire her except for, you know, the elect of the nation of Israel, especially in these times.
Yeah. And we got to be changed.
Yeah.
Like Paul said in 1 Corinthians 15, like why he was going so hard on that, because we can't even tap into wisdom and its fullness until we're changed.
Good. And then on top of that, Esau has fucked up the planet so much, all right, to where like food isn't food anymore. You know, water isn't water anymore. It's different.
Everything's been weaponized.
Everything's been weaponized against you to kill you. All right. So we need a new kingdom to rule. We need someone else to come into rulership, which is going to be held by Shmuel Shai, to come into rulership, clean up the earth, you know, by the hands of the Edomites, you know, and we're going to be on a whole nother level. You know, the spiritual inclination is going to be there. So, but hey, yeah, that's all I got. You know, that's all the Spirit has allowed me to unveil. With that, hey, the water for listening. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS that rule well. All right, shalom and shalom.
Shalom.